Yes, it is. Right now, we are still in the whole coronavirus event. So I think instead of going out to the office and shaking hands, we should just sort of chill out at home and, if we can, and do some live coding. I think that's one way to deal with this. Um, if you haven't seen this yet, this is a pretty cool dashboard of everything wherever this website knows about all the different numbers and things. So you can see how many confirmed cases there are, where they are, roughly speaking, and deaths and recoveries and all that kind of stuff. So not a super happy way to start off the stream here, but it is the reality. Here's where I live here in Ohio. This red dot does not represent the exact location, by the way, because I'm here in Columbus. It's more like up here in Cuyahoga County, as far as I know right now. So that's the situation, and that just happened yesterday. It was just announced yesterday, I should say. So that's where I am, and it's United States has not been as hard hit as some of these other countries, European countries, and certainly China. But it's having a real impact. Yeah. So with that in mind, let's get down to our normal promotions, normal plugs. And this is the theme. This is the theme of my channel. If you're here to hang out and learn about coding or just to talk about coding, that's fine. That's why I'm here. Ask questions is the main thing for me. If you have questions, ask them. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask. So ask away. All right, and I am a member of Team Live Coders, and let's go over here and check it out on Twitch/team/live coders, and the whole list of live coders here. You can see a lot of new names here, people I haven't seen streaming. Of course, Pixelogic Dev I've seen before, but the rest of these people, I don't know if I've dropped in any of the channels yet. So we'll come back here at the end of the stream and see if there's anybody we can raid. But if you're looking for some live coding, looking for a place to go, start here at Twitch/team/live coders. And another place you can go to start if you want to cast a wider net, so to speak, is GitHub/BNB/awesome developer streams. And it hasn't been updated in a couple weeks, but this is a list of streamers who are doing live coding in one form or another. You can just do Control F and search for something here, see what people are streaming about, which topics you're interested in, find it out. This is not just Twitch. This is YouTube and Mixer and Periscope and whatever else, Facebook, anything people want to stream on. You can go check it out here. So GitHub/BNB/awesome developer streams. What else we got? GrovesTube. This should be updated by now. Go to bit.ly/GrovesTube, and why don't I bring that up here in a browser? Just to show you what this looks like. But it's a history of my videos, episodes of live coding. You can see we've got episodes going back all the way back to episode 1. We're on episode, what is this one now? 60? Going back to episode 60. So it seems like we're missing one maybe, and these are out of order. But what can you do about that? But this is a place you can go check out the back catalog of stuff. You can see all the different topics. If you're interested in ACID, you can go back and look at that one. Interested in windowing functions, you can check that out. User-defined functions, ASP.NETs, some indexing stuff, EF Core work. I kind of played around with it a little bit. Hopefully more to come out of that soon. Some clips, some shorter clips. So GitHub projects, I learned about that. So I put some clips on that. So you can check it out here. Go to bit.ly/, oh, this is a lot here on this episode 3. So the views are starting to stack up on these. And there's some really good episodes here, especially the Kafka ones. I really enjoyed those. Podcast editing, there's a lot on that. But if you go back to these episodes, if you have a question, leave a comment in the YouTube. I don't care if it's an old episode or if it's a brand new one. Leave a comment. I will answer your questions or highlight your comment on the next live stream. So you can check this out, bit.ly/GrovesTube. What else? Well, this will be the last time I plug this new course on Pluralsight. I'll do this in incognito. It's a course by Kishan Iyer. called Modify Data in Couchbase Using Nickel. And he's got a whole series of courses on Couchbase, mainly to do with Nickel. There's also a Couchbase function course, so you can check those out there if you're on Pluralsight. If you're not on Pluralsight, there's free trials. Try it for free. Sign up, check out these courses. I'm working on a Pluralsight course that's related to Couchbase right now. So mine will be on this list here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, soonish. Don't exactly have an exact time frame for you, but I should be not on this list. This is Keyshawn's list, but if you search for Couchbase, I'll be on that list. Right? We can search for Couchbase and see what comes up, and you can see we've got mostly Keyshawn's courses here, and then this old one looks like some sort of interview type of video. It's only a couple hours long. So anyway, check that out. Pluralsight's a great place to go to do some learning. And I'll mention this one more time. We've got this survey. If you are a Couchbase developer, if you're using the Couchbase SDK, this is a survey that's mainly about documentation. And there are prizes available. Here are the prizes. We'll give out randomly to those who participate. But we're going to ask you some questions about what kind of development you do. And then the next page will be questions about documentation. Because we're trying to focus on SDK 3. It has just been released. For most of the languages just have a 3.0 release. Or 2.0 in some cases, like Go. And so we're thinking about, this is kind of a big transition going from version 2 to version 3. So we're trying to make sure we get the documentation right. So we're looking for some help from the community on that. So if you are, I've worked with Couchbase in the past, or you're working with it right now, please take the survey, and you'll be entered to win one of these fantastic prizes, which I helped pick out. And there's also an opportunity, if you want to get a guaranteed $200 gift card of your choice. If you go and fill out the survey, you can read about that. So I highly recommend that. It is bit.ly/docssurvey. That is a capital S in docssurvey. All right. Upcoming events. So, as far as I know, these events that I've listed here are all still on, as far as I know. That may change. It may be changing right now. It may be... it may change by the time you're seeing this video if you're watching a recording. So, keep that in mind. But SQL Saturday in Cincinnati is still on, as far as I know. Now, the Corona was just announced in Ohio, so that may change because, well, who knows. But that's still on, so if you're in the Cincinnati area, I'm still planning to be there, unless this event is canceled, or somebody tells me I have to do otherwise, my employer or my governments or anything like that. I still plan to be here. So I would encourage you to go, unless, of course, you are concerned about the virus, or you have some underlying health conditions. Typical things apply, right? Be safe. Same goes for Orlando Code Camp. This is a little different because this one is across the country for me. But as of right now, I'm still going. This event has not been canceled. My hotel and my airline have not canceled my flight or my stay. My company has not said I need to cancel this yet, my employer. That may change, of course. They have said we need to, my employer says we need to, we can no longer fly out of the country without permission. Special permission, but flying within the country is okay for now. That, of course, may change. But anyway, if I have to cancel, you should still check this out. If you're in the Florida area, check out the Orlando Code Camp, March 28th. It's a one-day event, maybe with some workshops. No, I think it's just one day, but definitely check it out. And Microsoft Ignite, I've not heard anything about this. Microsoft has canceled some events, so this one could be another one, but it is out in April, so who knows. CodeStock has not canceled their event yet either. That's a little farther out as well, so I still plan to be at that. That one's in Tennessee. Of course, this tour here, and I think I said this already, this is a quick back-to-back tour. This a lot of travel. Dominoes need to line up for me to make it to both of these, which I wasn't too concerned about at the time, but right now could be problematic. So we'll see, up in the air. But anyway, These are events. And then these two, those are so far out, they haven't said anything yet about cancellations or not. And this one's in Nashville, this one's in Norway. So I do have, at this time, I do have permission from my employer to still attend this event, but that's way out in June, so who knows what could happen. Anyway, events. All right, so today, Digital Challenge is what I've been working on the last couple episodes. At this time, this is designed basically for in-person events. It could be online events too, but in-person events. So, I did add a lot of features to this already. Right now, in-person events are looking like it's not a super high priority for anybody. So I think we're going to switch gears today and switch to something more virtual, more online, something that I've been putting off for a while anyway, and that is the chatbot for this channel that does not work. It broke a while ago. I basically took it down completely off of my Kubernetes cluster. And I was having trouble getting it to even just run locally as a microservice on my computer with Docker Compose. So what I think we're going to try, and this is probably just my own failing, but I'm going to take it out of containers and just deploy it to a free ASP.NET site, much like I did for the To-Do app that I deployed here a week or two ago. And I'm going to, again, tack on to my existing Couchbase cluster that's out there on Azure that is currently running the To-Do site and the Digital Challenge, and I'll add this one to it. So it'll be 3 different sites running against one single node of Couchbase. With the amount of traffic that they get, I think it's probably okay, although I may want to actually just take down the Digital Challenge site for now, since there's no active events going on, and but of course leave the Couchbase server up. So that's my current plan. So first thing I want to do is make sure that I can run this site locally without Docker Compose. So here we are. We're in Visual Studio. This is the Matt's Twitch bot. This is all on GitHub as well. Let me close this out here and bring up GitHub. The source code for this is all on GitHub, at github/mgroves. And normally I would post that link and make it the current project with my chatbot, but the chatbot's broken. So it's here. It's Matt's Twitch bot. I'll just post this right into the chat. github/mgroves/Matt's Twitch bot. And you can see I haven't updated it in 4 months, but it was working fine for probably 2-3 months. Maybe I'll have to go back and review, but yeah, it just stopped cooperating. So I'm going to try to eliminate. I'm not a huge expert on Kubernetes or AKS, so I'm going to try to eliminate that, eliminate the Docker stuff as well. And I've done ASP.NET Core, Azure deployments. I've done a lot of those, so I think I can handle that. And I won't have to worry about the autonomous operator and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. So we've got this Docker Compose project here. Now, I thought there was a way, and maybe if I switch the project here to web, yeah. So I could just run this. Instead of running it in Docker, I'll run it on like IIS Express. What is that? If I just run it on Matt's TwitchBot web. I've also already changed the credentials to use my local cluster and the scavenger hunt. No, not scavenger hunt. I've not added a bucket yet. So let me figure out what the bucket name is. This would be in startup, and my bucket name is Twitch Chat. So I don't have a local copy of this. We'll just create a small bucket here called Twitch Chat. And I don't think I need any indexing or anything like that for it. I'm just going to use the regular old administrator password credentials. So I think that this should work. Let me just make sure it compiles. Okay, and I'm running it here. There's the console for it. Okay, TwitchBot seems to be running. So this might actually work right now. Like if I type, I'm just going to try, it's actually integrated with real Twitch. So set current project to that. Okay, it got it. You can see it's working there. So I do current project and bang, there we go. So it's working. And so that should have put some data into Twitch chat. You can see here, current project and that I've arrived recently. So we're in good shape there. And if I just type, hey, this is a test message into Twitch, that should then appear here in Couchbase. And there you go. You can see the the raw message, but I'm looking for the actual text of it. Where is it at? You can see it right here. Oh, here it is, message. Hey, this is a test message. So there you go. So it seems to be working okay. Is there anything else that I'm concerned about? I don't think so, because the thing that it's doing, it's listening to messages, and that is running as a, if I can find it here, this hosted service. So I guess my main concern with this would be that it's going to go to sleep after a period of inactivity. Maybe. But I can always wake it up by hitting the actual home page, the thing that you just saw there on the screen. When I refresh this is meant to be an overlay in, it looks weird because, this is meant to be an overlay that I plug into OBS. So I plug in this URL and then it shows up in OBS. So I could just do a refresh of that, and that would wake up the site. Because I'm going to use the free version, so it's going to be, after a certain period of time, it's going to hibernate, basically. Okay. So I think that's good. I'm going to deploy this using Visual Studio. I could probably set it up with something better later. And it's not going to be App Service Linux. We're not deploying a Docker service here. We're going to deploy App Service. It's going to be a new service. And okay. And this is going to be very similar to what I did with the To-Do app last time. So we're going to call this a TwitchBot. Matt's TwitchBot, that's fine. On my MSDN, yes, that's fine. I do want to use, well, I can create its own resource group, right? It's not that I really need it, but Matt's TwitchBot resource group. Okay, and the hosting plan will be, I think I'll create a new one for that as well. Match TwitchBot plan. This needs to be in South Central US. That's where my Couchbase cluster is. I'm going to put this on free. Okay. No application insights. I don't think we turned those on last time with the to-do, and we still were able to debug it. Not debug it, but see log messages. Okay. Don't need anything else. Go ahead and create that. Okay. Now what I've not done is I'm not deploying with the correct Couchbase credentials in this project. I will do that after the fact. Which is one of the reasons this build needs to be more automated, because if I do another deploy, I have to go back and update those again. But that's not the end of the world. I just want to get it working, so it's up and running, at the very least, for future Twitch streams. We can start adding enhancements to it, bring back the entrance fanfare and all that kind of stuff. That kind of fun stuff. Okay, your application is making use of Signal R. For environments that need to scale, we strongly recommend adding a dependency on Azure Signal R service. Okay, got it. So that, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that. The Signal R is something I'm using just for, it would be just for me hosting it. And now that I'm thinking about this, if I publish this site, anybody could go access it. Which is probably okay for now. It's not going to be the end of the world, because they can't get access to any of the raw chat data. They can edit profiles and they can see the Signal R screen, but they really can't do anything else. So I think it's probably fine. But I do need to add that. That's something that Kubernetes kind of gave me when I was tunneling into it for free. It just restricted everyone else. Only I could tunnel into it. And I could actually set up a network, some networking here to only allow my IP address to access this site. So I think that's probably what I'll do to start out with. Anyway, let's go ahead and publish. It's saying use the Signalar service because if I were using something that, I guess if I wanted to scale larger, like to thousands or tens of thousands of people, Signalar service might be better because I could scale it separately, I think is the idea there. But not a big deal. Okay, so this should fail probably because it's not got the correct credentials. Oh, interesting. I think I've seen that before. That screen before. But here we go. So I'm going to go in here to my portal, and you can't see this. We've detected that your app. Okay, turn WebSockets on. Let's see. You should not to recommend enabling WebSockets on your Azure App Service as an alternative. Oh, interesting. Sure, I guess. All right. Hopefully it doesn't cost anything extra. I don't know. But I'm looking at Matt's TwitchBot resource group. Okay, and there's Matt's TwitchBot. All right, and I think everything is okay to show you here on this screen. Just so you can see, looking at TwitchBot, if I go to networking, and I can configure this. Oh, it needs to be standard or premium, so I can't do that with the free version. Okay, no problem. But there it is. There's the TwitchBot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, take this off the screen here. And I need to figure out what the credentials are for my Couchbase server. And I need to make those changes here in the app service editor. This is all very exciting off-screen work, I promise you. It's really it's super boring. Just copying and pasting IP addresses and stuff like that. Okay, and I assume this is in release mode. All right, and I know the credentials are different. I think I have them somewhere handy. I probably should create a separate user for this one, but again, that's something I can do in the future. All right, and that's the username, and that's the password off screen. The Twitch stuff, that needs to be the same, I think. Okay, and there we have it. I think that'll work. And I'll need to make sure I create a bucket for the TwitchBot. I don't think I have that on my current Couchbase, which I will show you here in a second once I sign in. Okay, there we go. So I need to create a Twitch chat bucket, I believe. Okay, all the RAM is taken up. Yep. Oops. Can I reduce some of it? Yeah. This is taking up a lot of RAM, so we'll just take 200 meg off of that. I don't need that much RAM for any of these buckets, really. Twitch chat, okay. There we go. And I'm going to shut down that thing there. Okay, let's see if this works now. Hey, it's Smudge 202. Sorry, I just took down the bot. I'm working on the bot today. That's why current project isn't working. But here's what would have happened. It would have shown you this. The GitHub link to Matt's TwitchBot, which is what I'm working on right now. Trying to get this to deploy to Azure. I had some problems with it when I deployed it to AKS. I don't know what happened, and I couldn't replicate it locally. I couldn't even get the site to work locally anymore, so I'm changing the deployment model. But hey, thanks for coming in and checking out the stream, Smudge 202. Great to see you. I'm glad you're here. How's your day going so far? What are you up to? Okay, this is still not working. And CM process. So this could be related to that Signal R thing that I got the message on. So I'm going to try to restart that service. I also changed the config file anyway, so I think restarting the service is probably a good idea. ANCM in process start. This is an error message I haven't seen before. Having a pretty trash day, but nothing serious. Well, that's lousy. Let's see. Duplicate identity problem? Okay, I don't know what this is. Aaron Shades, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for stopping in. The ANCM error means ASP.NET Core. This modules fail to start your app. Okay. Try running the exe in Kudu. All right, I will try that. Something I did last time. Okay. Where's my Kudu link? All right, let's bring it up here. I think it's safe to put this on the screen. Hi, Matthew. It's Narendev. Thanks for stopping in. Good to see you again. What's going on? Oh, sorry. I think I messed it up again. Your pronunciation. Naren? Anyway, thanks for coming in. All right. PowerShell, why not? Okay, see site and www root. And I think there's an exe here. Let's see what happens if I run the exe. Figure it out. Oh, we got errors. Okay. Parameter cannot be null. So dependency injection is not working because we've got a null reference exception. It's Tuesday evening and it's good. You've not passed critical. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing from this. But I thought I did. Let me just take a peek here. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Did I forget? Something? My day's going okay, Naren. I'm getting a little nervous. I've got a cruise booked for spring break. I've been looking forward to for like 8 months. And I'm super nervous about whether it's going to be canceled or what. Are you using ASP.NET Site settings? It was line 54 in startup. You need to check exactly which setting. Okay. Look at you, Eagle Eye over here. Okay, so line 54. I'm just going to bring it up in. I'm not going to. Again, I can't show you this because there's sensitive information there. But app service editor. Oh wait, no, I can't do that in app service editor. I got to look at the source code. Trying out remote work this week because of the thing. It takes some getting used to. Aaron Shades, I tell you what, I've been working remote for the better part of 10 years. My last 3 jobs. And the first year, I felt nervous about it, and definitely something I had to get used to. But I tell you what, something just started to click for me. I felt like I had more autonomy, and I had more control over my life. And once I started to get some systems and kinks worked out in terms of communication with my teams, I just really, really enjoyed it. So let's see. Oh, the thing was found at your local gym. Oh gosh. So where are you? Where are you, Smudge 202? What part of the world? I showed the map earlier. I don't know if I have it somewhere in my history. Here it is. Oh, you're in the UK. Okay. Yeah, I showed this up earlier. I wanted to get the elephant in the room out of the way at the beginning of the stream, so I showed this map. This has been going around Twitter. I don't know how official or how accurate this is, but there you go. UK looks to be a little lower than the US right now. US is up here at 761 confirmed cases, and I mentioned that I am here in Ohio. This is my state of Ohio right here. There is, I think, 3 cases in Ohio, that were announced yesterday. This is not the exact location of them. It is up here in Cuyahoga County, up in this area, Cleveland. I'm actually down in this area in Columbus. This is a pretty long distance, by the way. If in Europe, sometimes it's hard to get a picture of how big distances are, right? But like I heard on Jeopardy that the area of the Great Lakes here, which I'm close to, these lakes, is the same area as the United Kingdom. So it's a little different in the United States because most parts of the country is very spread out. Yeah, Italy's not doing so great. You can see it's second place here on the leaderboard, and there's a pretty massive quarantine effort going on right now. So that's lousy. Iran, I can't imagine that these are accurate numbers, but it's pretty high as well. You're in Salem, India. I haven't heard much about this in India, but that looks like there are some cases there in India. I don't know what part of India Salem is. I'm a very poor understanding of the geography of India. I've heard of some of these places, Mumbai and Hyderabad and Hyderabad, sorry. But in my mind, I don't have a good map of India. Travel to and from Italy is barred. I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's not completely barred, but I think it's been highly restricted. All right, it's in the south of India. So it's kind of cool just to bring up a map and see where you all are from. It's in the south near Coimbatore, so you're down here somewhere. Oh, there's Salem right there. It's interesting. I don't know if Salem is a word that the English borrowed from India or India borrowed from the English, because there's a relatively infamous city in the United States called Salem. I think it's in Massachusetts, right? Salem, Massachusetts. Yeah. So this is in Massachusetts. It's an infamous city because in pre-United States, there was these witch trials and things like that. There's many Salems in the world. Okay, yeah. So I don't know what the origin is, what the original Salem is, but there you go. There's an infamous Salem in the United States. Witch trials. Yep, exactly. The Salem witch trials. I assume there's no witch trials in Salem, India, but it's just made me think of that. Anywho, so that's what's going on with the map there. I mean, these are scary looking numbers. But so I think it's good that we sort of stay in, like Aaron is doing, and trying out some remote work, and just try not to panic and be healthy and be careful, because this is a dangerous virus, especially for people with underlying medical conditions. That's according to the CDC, I think so. I am no expert on this kind of stuff, so do what is in your own best interest, which is you're learning everything in remote, and it's good. Well, I'm glad you could hang out here. We can do a high five, virtual high five. We can do a virtual handshake, but we're not going to actually make contact with each other. So the problem. Let's check out the code here. So you said you had a line number, line 54 in startup, which is a very helpful thing to know. Connection credentials. Username and OAuth key. Okay. Where is my app service editor? I'm pretty sure those are in there. Let me just double check. Twitch, username, Twitch, OAuth key. Those are in there. I'm looking at the release file right now, and I'm seeing them. Let's see. No handshake, only namaste. That's funny because I just watched, there's an episode of Better Call Saul yesterday. A brand new episode called Namaste. Let's see. When you add the settings to app service settings, did you add them with semicolons or double underscore? Here, let me just show you. I'll sanitize this. Whoops. It's a new project, follow-up to last week's one. It's not a new project. This is a chatbot I've had for a while. But it's also not the same project as last week. Okay, so this is what, here I'll switch over to JSON. This is the actual app settings.release JSON file. And so, you're putting on the focus hat. That's cool, Aaron. You can lurk here if you want to, just hang out. If you think of something you want to ask, throw it in there. Yeah, I'm not using site settings. That's correct. I used to use Docker Compose. So there, the underscores would come into play there. Oh, there goes a fire truck. Thank you for the follow, Aaron Shades. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. If you're focused, you're in the zone. If I don't talk to you again, thanks for coming by. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. But this is working locally. I tried this out locally, and it was working. So I gotta imagine it's something in the configuration, in my deployments. All right, so this is pulling from Twitch username, which you can see here is Twitch username, and Twitch OAuth key are using default host builder. Default host builder in program. Okay, let's have a look here. Everything here is default, yeah. This all just came out of the template. I didn't make any changes there. Good question, though. What about this client ID? It said it was line 54, which would make sense there. Let me just... I do have API client and API secret. Those are in there as well. So what is the problem here? Restart the service again, just for funsies. What settings files do you have in Kudu? I'm not quite sure how to answer that. Let me bring it up here. Go site www roots. I mean, there's development and release that are in there, just like I'd expect to. Yeah, it's not just app settings JSON. There's not production, it's release and development. Naren, do you have current Pluralsight courses? I am working on a Pluralsight course right now. There are Couchbase Pluralsight courses if you're interested in Couchbase. There is a guy, I think he's from India actually, who has released 5 Pluralsight courses. I plugged one of them earlier in the stream. Is release the correct name? I believe so. I mean, I could try it here. I could put it in release mode and try it locally. Let's see what happens. Because I have, let me just make sure I have those settings here locally. I don't, so I need to copy those over. I'm just going to use my local Couchbase for this. So it doesn't seem to be a Couchbase issue. It seems to be a Twitch authentication issue. Pretty sure it should be production. Thank you, Naren. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. Great to see you again. Maybe it is production. So if that's the case, but I thought it was release. So I could just make a copy. Okay, so here it is in release mode, and we can see current project and there we go. So it's working. That's running it locally in release mode. You can see it's right here. So we'll shut that down. So it's worth a try. I could do that. So your suggestion is what, production, right? Okay. So I'm just going to copy this and paste and call it appsettings.production.json. Oh, that's not app settings. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to redeploy this. from Couchbase or from Visual Studio. So I'm just going to do a quick copy of those credentials right here. Put them right there. Okay. So here we go. You can see it in startup properties as it'll be setting to dev for your debug builds. Startup properties. Setting to dev for your debug builds. Okay. Like startup properties in the portal. Okay, let's go to publish this again. Sorry, like go to project properties, look at the build tab. Okay, project properties, look at the old build tab. So it's like active release. I still got this in release mode. Active debug. Debug tab. Okay. Oh. This is deploying environment variables too? If that's the case, that could explain it. When running in debug, it sets that property as a pretend environment. Oh, okay, okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, that's how app turns is in dev. When not present, look for production. Okay. For production. Okay. All right. Well, it's worth a try. So I'll go ahead and deploy this again. And not properties. What am I doing? Publish. Okay. Publish. And there we go. So this, I'm now actually deploying the app settings .production.json file. Okay, and here it is, loading it up. Okay, page isn't working. We got a 500 error, so it's different. It's a different error. That's good, kind of. Let's bring up Kudu again. See what the error is. Yep, back to Kudu. All right, PowerShell. Site, www root. I should just leave this open, maybe. I don't know. And then Matt's TwitchBot web exe. Okay, it's working here. No errors. Well, no errors until the site is hit. Oh, hang on, something's happening. Yeah, this seems to be right. I'm not. This looks like it's working how it's supposed to. Well, thank you for posting that link there, Smudge. Yeah, it seems to be connecting to Couchbase just fine, but the website itself is bombing out. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So I'm getting a 500 error. So something's going wrong when I hit the home with the home controller. I guess is what's happened. So let's bring up this. Let's see if I said profile Matthew D. Groves. Is this going to work? Nope, that's also a 500 error. Okay, I do remember we could look at there's another tool. We could look at the actual logs. No, it wasn't logs, right? It was, is there a Couchbase sync for Serlog, something we can look for errors? Yeah, there is a Couchbase sync for Serlog, but I don't think this is a Couchbase issue. But, because it looked like it was connecting just fine. There is a, where is it? Log stream, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I got the log stream brought up on the other page. And okay, it's not showing anything. Let's see, here's the log stream. Nothing happening. User queries logs are in there. So, oh yeah, certainly I could certainly query. Yeah, yeah. If we log something to Couchbase, then we could query it in Couchbase. Yeah, yeah. I don't have anything like that set up right now. Oh, web server logs are switched off. App service logs settings. App service log settings. Let's see. App service log settings. Process Explorer. App service logs. Sure. We'll turn on some App Insights. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. App Insights is another one. It says it's on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see. All right. Authenticate user does not have permission to use this DLL. Ensure the what in the world? Here's the error message I'm seeing in the log stream. Because this error depends on which module handles the request. Internal server error has recurred, so that's not really giving us much information. I could turn on like, yeah, that's a generic page. I could turn on, it's just not showing here, right? On development, was an error log before the page was rendered. Nothing in this log stream. Just seeing application logs here, and it's just outputting that HTML page. But it's in release mode, right? So it's probably not going to. Yeah, right. Exactly. Application insights. I could try that. This has got to be a super simple issue. I vote Searlog or App Insights. All right, we'll try App Insights. See, I tried this last time, and I got an error message, but we can try it. Instrument your application. Profiler, snapshot debugger, all this kind of stuff. All right. Okay. Yep. Restart the site. So this is better than I got last time with the to-do app. R-click dependencies, add connected service, and select App Insights. I'm just doing it here in the Azure portal. Are you saying it's better to do it in Visual Studio? Okay, view application insight data. Okay, I'm refreshing the site, and let's see what happens in application insights. All right. VS will add middleware and shenanigans to get better insights, I believe. I can try to find the article. I don't want, let's say log analytics. Show me the data here. I'm not seeing any failed requests. Any errors at all. Application insights. Pretty sure the stuff you enable from the Azure portal just puts App Insights got IIS, not the app. Okay, well, if that's true, then let's turn this off then. It's not really giving us anything. There's one more thing I wanted to try just before we get into something else. Let's go here. I'm going in App Service Editor again. Oh, I'm noticing a problem here with the file I put in release. Okay, so that, gosh, I'll tell you what. If that's it, I'll be happy. Apologies for all this spam. Won't be offended if you ignore anything I put here or whatever. No, it's fine. It's okay. It's not spam. Well, that doesn't seem to be it. Release, production, development. Okay, and we'll try this again. And restart. I'm just copying all the settings into release, production, and development app settings files, just to see if it makes any difference. Doesn't look like it. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's just try Smudge's suggestion here. We're going to right-click dependencies and add connected service. He says add connected service. Monitoring with application insights. Well, this is pretty cool. Secure secrets. Huh. Because this is something I was thinking about doing anyways, using the key vault. But let's just do this. Application insights. Exceptions. Yep, this is the kind of stuff I want. We'll go Visual Studio and yep, that's fine. Just register, I guess. Let's see what happens. It'll create the Azure resources and install stuff into the app. This may not be stuff I want to leave in here, but if it helps me diagnose it, and I think the thing is I've got application insights set up for another project of mine, and I found it to be not valuable at all. But this may be the reason why. I just don't have it set up, integrated correctly. Although I think it's an ASP.NET, not ASP.NET Core project. If it doesn't do this, if it doesn't do it for you, once this completes, you can add to startup with services.add application insights telemetry. Okay. Interesting. See if it's intelligent enough to add that and to start it for me. And there's a link here to Azure Monitor App ASP.NET Core, Microsoft Docs. Thank you very much for that link. It sure is taking a while. This takes longer than it did from the portal, so it must be doing something different. Oh, here we go. Sending telemetry, reading telemetry. So let's see. Look at the startup here. You said it was add application insights. There it is, right there. Well, I'll be. So publish it again, or did you think it published it already? We'll just go and publish it again. Installer slow, but pretty slick. Publish. We'll need to republish. Yeah, I figured. Good coffee today. This is my special leftover from the hotel room blend. Not too bad, actually. All right, here we go. 500 error message. You also have local app insights available when you debug. There's an app insights button that appears in the toolbar at the top. Lets you view events telemetry. Okay. I'm going to check that out. Okay, so still getting the error. 500 error, but I'm assuming now I can go into Portal, maybe, and what, view app insights there? Excuse me. Okay, application insights. Look at that. Yeah, the not so fun bit is trying to find the events in Portal, but there they go. There's 2 events, failed requests in application insights. So what do I actually do here? Is it an activity log? Can click them in the chart and drill down. Oh, okay, let's try that. Drill on down. There's a get, argument exception. Look at all this. Length of IP address and subnet masks do not match. What? Let me just look at this. Look at these. Is there a typo? I mean, that's usually what this kind of stuff is. But why would there be subnet addresses? What's the problem there? Length of IP address and subnet mask. IP address extensions, get network address, unhandle exception. Huh. Here we go. This is interesting. Oh, look at all this cool stuff. Operation started, get, argument exception, argument exception, argument exception. I'm not sure what to do with these graphics here. If you have ReSharper, you can copy that stack trace, and when you go to VS, it'll auto take you to the stack, which is cool.
Bing, bada, boom.
Hey, in Infinity Fart to Fort. Okay. Hi, hello, how are you doing? I'm doing all right, Infinity. How are you? Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate you stopping in. Working through some ASP.NET Core to Azure stuff with the help of Smudge 202. And, okay, so you're saying copy this call stack. I am using ReSharper. And I'm over here. Okay, I've got, have you learned about Python? I know of Python. I know of it. I am not a fan of Python because I'm not a fan of significant whitespace. All right, now it makes me unpopular, I know, but I do not like significant whitespace. I don't like YAML. I don't like Python. So nothing against Python. People who write Python, hey, that's cool, man. That's what you like to do. I know Python can do some really cool stuff with like natural language processing and data notebooks, things like that. It's not my deal. There's nothing against Python specifically. It's against significant whitespace. When you code, do you used to get bored? Short answer is no. I love coding. The longer answer is there are certain things in coding that, and this is maybe just says something about me. Maybe I'm not doing it the best way I can. But there are some parts of coding that once you've solved a problem, it becomes very rote. A lot of doing the same thing over and over. Left-right code, for instance, unit tests. can be, they're important, but they take a lot of just sort of, okay, we'll do this, we'll copy and paste it, we'll change this, we'll do this, copy and paste it, change it, and that becomes a little boring. But honestly, I would rather do that than sit in status meetings or check emails. So I find those things more boring. um, Creating proposals, planning, project management, stuff like that. I find that stuff kind of boring compared to any coding I love doing. So no, I don't get bored on code. I love coding. I've been coding since I was 8 years old. My parents say even earlier than that. I don't think they're right. I think 8 years old is when I really first started to code. I've been doing it and I love it. And yeah. Okay, so this is showing us some cool stuff here. What do we got here? Can you check this programming me of code? You're going to have to rephrase that, Infinity, because I don't quite understand your question there. But okay, so this is pretty cool. This Stack Trace Explorer. You click the lines. And is same subnet. Oh, is this it? Is this some of my code that's just failing? I've got this crazy hack in here with these IP address extensions. Why would that be failing? This is okay. Yeah, I can just get this out of here. My hacky code caught you out. Yeah, this is a hack I put in place because I was doing this crazy Rube Goldberg hack. This is an episode. You can go back and check this out. Some SignalR stuff. I'm trying to simulate in Couchbase subscribing to mutation events, which you can't really do with Couchbase right now. You can't do like a watch or a listen sort of code. But there are things in Couchbase called events. And so if something happens in Couchbase, you can write some JavaScript code that will respond to a document changing, for instance. You can't subscribe to that from the SDK yet, but you can write some code in there. So what I did as a hack was in that event code, when something changes, you can make a curl request from that event. So what I did was so document changes, I made a curl request back to my app, and then the app can then do some logic and publish that up to SignalR. So it was kind of a hacky way of doing that. But this was a workaround because I was having some problems with HTTPS. And so, yeah, let's just get rid of this and see if that fixes the problem. Of all the things, because that seemed to work fine in Kubernetes. Or there maybe I don't know, maybe something changed in networking or Azure or something that made it stop working. And that could be the underlying issue behind all of this. Who knows? Look at that. It's working. It's working. There we go. So right now we'll do current project. No, set current project. To like this. And got it. And so then we can say current project, and there we go. Working. Bam. Well, Smudge, that is great. I appreciate it. I've learned some great stuff today with Application Insights. It is way better than I thought it was. So very cool. Thank you very much for sharing that information. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we got 10 minutes left. What should we do? So this is actually going to start logging messages. This is what the chatbot does. If you look here in Twitch chat, you can see it's logging messages. Well, it looks like it might have been doing that already. Anyway, so it was just the public-facing web part that wasn't working because I had that crazy subnet code in there, but this is logging messages, right? So you can see I vote Serolog or App Insights. It's been logging this whole time. So that's fantastic. All right, good. All right, so then let's see what else. Let's just see what else we can test here. If I go to the help handler, you can see if you type bang help, you're going to get whispered this selection of commands. So I think this will work. Again, I usually integrate this directly into Stream OBS, but let's see. It doesn't seem to be working there. Oh, not help laugh. It should be just laugh. Doesn't seem to be working. Bang laugh. Okay, it should play a sound effect, but maybe something's not working. You know what? I think I made that data driven, so I have to put the data in there to do that. All right, nice, Mr. Couchbase Advocate. What makes it better than Mongo or Cosmos then? Wow, question I get a million times. Well, you know, between Mongo and Cosmos are two different things, right? So my favorite thing about Couchbase, my favorite thing, period, is the reason I looked at Couchbase and I looked at this position. I was like, okay, yes, I'm interested in this because I've been sort of interested in NoSQL for a lot of my career. I used to work with something called DB40, which was a NoSQL object database, I believe. That was a long time ago for like mobile apps. So I've always been interested in NoSQL. But one of the things that always kind of stuck with me was, you know, SQL, the language SQL, has been around for a long time, and it's a really good language for working with data. Couchbase has a full SQL implementation. So you can see right here, here's an example of one I used recently for the Digital Challenge app. So I can do these types of joins here. I can do where clause. I can put and statements. They can get really complicated if you need them to be. So SQL is something that Couchbase has in the NoSQL world that no one else has. You know, especially Mongo. There's nothing like SQL and Mongo. The Mongo query language to me is, you know, and no offense to the Mongo people who work hard on this software, but the Mongo query language is offensive to me. Yes, but can you put the from before the select? Because all the SQL languages get that wrong. You know, I think it might be possible. I don't know. I remember there's some talk about that. Let's try it. Looks like no. But anyway, yes, certainly the original SQL specification had from first, right? So I don't know. Okay, now, so that's the thing with Couchbase. The other thing is with Couchbase scaling. NoSQL, sort of the reason a lot of people get into NoSQL in the first place is scaling. And with Couchbase, every single node in a cluster, and this example here only has the one node, right? It's my local machine. But just to add another server to the cluster is literally this button. I stand up another server, put in the address, credentials, select the services that I want, bam, add it to the cluster. It'll show up here as a second node, and so on and so on. And this is not a master-slave sort of thing with Couchbase. It's shared nothing architecture. Every node can do some reads and writes, some portion of reads and writes. The biggest problem I have with scaling is the effort it takes to automate clustering in Docker, Kubernetes, or Compose. Well, Couchbase has something that you might be interested in. So the autonomous operator. Couchbase is actually the first NoSQL database to do a full release of an autonomous operator for Kubernetes. And so this will abstract a lot of that stuff away from you to manage stateful applications, which in Kubernetes and or Docker Compose, it can be a huge pain. to do that because you have to go through and sort of manually script that stuff out yourself. But the idea here is, maybe we can go to docs and actually look at it. You can do it in a declarative way. Let's see, autonomous operator. So see if I can just show an example of this. Deploying the operator, managing the operator. Just see if I want to find a YAML file example. Yeah, here's one right here. So you just create a Kubernetes resource, I think they call them. And you basically tell Kubernetes what kind of cluster you want. You say, oh, I want 3 servers in my cluster, or I want 10 servers in my cluster. And these are the services I want, because Couchbase has kind of a microservice architecture. What services do I want on those nodes? What kind of buckets do I want? What are the memory quotas that I want? And so this will be the ideal state. And then so it's up to Kubernetes and the operator to whip your cluster into shape to make this happen. And if a node goes down, it will automatically try to bring one back up, for instance. So the operator pattern is really the key there to databases on Kubernetes, because otherwise, yeah, it's a pain in the neck to set up. Now, Docker Compose is a different story. There's nothing like that for Couchbase with Docker Compose. You kind of have to do a little bit of that work yourself. And I've done this in previous streams. But from my point of view, I think Kubernetes pretty much owns the container deployment world right now. Docker Compose is still very helpful for like local developer configurations, which is what I blogged about. Yeah, it would be great if you could try it out over the weekend, Smudge. Let me know what you think. Give it a shot. And Couchbase Enterprise is a totally free download. You can try out all the features. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. You can try out all the features totally free. Like it's an unlimited free, think of it as an unlimited free trial. And especially if you want to try it on Kubernetes, the autonomous operator right now only works with enterprise version. So you can try that out. But if you just want to try out Couchbase by itself, you can go to downloads and install it on Windows, Mac, or Linux. You can also just spin up a Docker image. Couchbase is on Docker Hub. Official images out there on Docker Hub. And then, so once you're comfortable with Couchbase, then you can maybe dip into the Kubernetes world. And I'm guessing you know a lot more about Kubernetes deployments than I do. I have not, beyond this stream, the really basic stuff I've done in this stream, I've not done like a production Kubernetes deployment. But that's an option here. So you can try all this stuff out. It'd be great. The other thing we're working on, it's not quite completely like released and ready to go in the public, but we have a cloud DBaaS we've just announced, completely managed Couchbase clusters, and it's kind of a closed beta version right now. We're going to eventually release a self-service version of it later this year. That's the plan anyway. My Kubernetes is pretty bad actually. I did quite a bit a few years ago, but current company has DevOps guys, so I farm all that work out. Well, that's nice. That's always nice to just toss container images over and say, hey, you guys do it. But yeah, so we got this DBaaS thing going, which I'm looking forward to really digging into this and trying it out myself. This is a relatively brand new offering, but this is comparable to Cosmos, as you brought up earlier, where Cosmos is completely managed. You can only run it in Azure, right? Whereas Couchbase, you can run in your own data centers, in Docker, and Kubernetes, and VMs, and whatever you want to do. The Cosmos I do like about Cosmos is they have a SQL API, so you can still use SQL against Cosmos. However, it is a very tiny subset of real SQL. It's you can do a few different variants on select with aware, and I think they just now introduced group by, for instance. So they're getting there. I like that they're going for the SQL as a language. That's a cool feature I like. But I mean, Couchbase's SQL implementation is a full SQL with joins and insert, update, delete, merge, group by, union, everything you'd expect from SQL, and then some more. So those would be my two things. Cosmos just introduced a free tier, so that's kind of nice. I do like that. That's brand new, a brand new thing. Because one of the complaints I hear about Cosmos is the cost. Like it's hard to understand at first the cost of Cosmos, to wrap your head around that. So if you have a free tier, you can experiment with it. That's a nice thing to introduce. So there you go. That's my developer advocate spiel. Thank you for asking, Smudge. I can, of course, talk about more stuff I like about Couchbase. There's lots of great features that it can do. But that's my sort of my stock answers to those questions when I'm at the booth. People ask that question all the time. Like, how is it better than Mongo? How's it different than Mongo? Usually don't ask out Cosmos. Don't get a lot of compare it to Cosmos questions. Every once in a while we do. I will say that I was at an event recently, and Lowe's, some guys from the Lowe's team came up to the booth, and we're talking about how they moved from Cosmos to Couchbase for some of the reasons I just said. Cost savings, performance was one of them. They found that Cosmos was not up to snuff for performance. Or I'm sure if you could move the dial on Cosmos all the way to the top, but that's going to cost more. So they switched from Cosmos to Couchbase. And so if you're interested, if you ever see the Lowe's guys out and about, or follow any of the Lowe's people on Twitter or LinkedIn, they might have some more information for you about the Cosmos front. Anywho, chatbot is up and running. The sound effects aren't working, but they are data driven, so I'll need to get that data in there. But I'm happy. We got the chatbot working, and let's just make sure it's still working. And it is. So I'm just going to leave it up there. Terrific. Just terrific. Okay. So what about my sound effects stuff? What's next? Yeah, so I think what's next is I'm going to get some of these other commands working. Meeting got pushed back to half past. Oh, that's cool. Let's see, this database stuff here. These should correspond. Okay, I think there should be a document with a key of valid sound effects. So I'm going to put this, again, this should probably be automated. I don't want localhost. I want, yeah, here we go. Oh, I was wrong about that, by the way. That was my local database that was storing that stuff. Why isn't this stuff being, oh, this is still localhost. Gosh. Here we go. Okay. That's more like it. All right, so we're going to add a document here called valid sound effects, and we're going to put in that, I think. And so maybe now it'll work. There we go. Perfect. So it's a little more data driven having that in there. So that's good. There we go. I'm hearing that. Hopefully that's coming through OBS. Like I said, I don't have it directly hooked into OBS right now. But I will do that next time I stream. I'll just add this link right to it. And I guess the other thing is, right now that TwitchBot is open. Some parts of the TwitchBot are open to pretty much everybody in the world who has this URL. So I think what I need to do is restrict it in some way. So, I mean, I could just add some basic auth over it, something like that. I was going to just restrict it with Azure networking, but I can't do that with the free tier of ASP.NET or of web service, so app service, sorry. So figure out some other way to restrict it. I do have a backlog, kind of something in here. Some other ideas. You have an Azure tenant, so you can OIDC off of Azure AD. Never done that before. The fanfare stuff, I'll need to get that populated again for some of my regulars, which I haven't seen in a while, actually. But these are ideas for the commands that came about in previous streams. So a bookmark command, the old school IRC trout command, info about, maybe just aliases or something. Or OAuth 2, I guess, on a client credential grant, or use some of the fancy service principal stuff. I don't think I want to get too fancy. I want to keep it real simple. Because the only thing that I really expose, I mean, most of it is just connecting to Twitch. So that's, I don't think there's a problem there. So the only thing I'm really worried about exposing is that homepage, which is meant to only be used by me, really, for the OBS stream. So if I could just restrict that in the app. And I don't want to go off IP address. That would be easy because then it would be very passive. I could just say, well, is this your IP address? Well, then you're allowed to be here. Otherwise, no. Because my IP address can change from time to time. So I could also use just like a bearer token. Just put it out there, and if the token matches, then access granted. Otherwise, no. That would be a real simple attribute to throw in there. I've done that in the past in previous companies. But something like uptime, stream info. Let's see, simplest using what you have right now, I think, is go to Azure Portal, add a service account to your Azure AD, then add an OIDC middleware to the Azure app tied into your Azure AD. I don't think I have any Azure AD set up unless you know, I don't have to set that up. It just comes out of the box. But I will make a note of that. You get it for free. Everyone has one. Just make a note of this. I don't know what OIDC is. You're going to have to explain that one to me. OIDC. OpenID Connect. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'd have to authorize. I'd have to log in like through GitHub or something. Or you're saying with Azure AD we'll use OpenID Connect. Maybe. Okay, I'll think about that. I kind of like the bearer token is a little easier for me because I can just paste that URL right into OBS, and that will you know, it's all self-contained there in the URL. Oh, this is bearer tokens, just authenticated by your AD. Oh, okay, interesting. All right, well, let's look into that. I'm probably not going to get to that today. In fact, I may shut down the app for now because of that. Well, before after I shut down the stream. Okay, well, cool. I think I'm very happy with what I've accomplished so far today. You need to bounce? Yeah, I'm going to probably just go to do a little raid here. There's only a few of us here in the channel, but we'll go and raid somebody. C# Fritz is on. Begin bot. Computer science we never learned. That sounds pretty cool. We'll go and raid Begin bot. Never been there before. So if you're going to join the raid, if you are a subscriber, I'll post something here for you to copy and paste. Bada bing, bada boom, it's a raid. Go ahead and copy and paste that, or just, whatever you want to do. Be nice to BeginBot, and I will see you over there. Thanks for joining me today.
Brother had traumatic brain injuries, mostly okay now. It's good to hear, but the impact on the right side of the brain left some of his bodily movements. Oh, Math D Grooves. What's going on? How are you today? It wakes up people in the morning without coffee. Okay, we don't know if it means developers. You're just in time. Oh, not Grooves, not Groves. What's going on? What you up to? Check it out. Someone just purchased a Rubik's Cube solved. We're going to try and set a record today, at least a record on stream. It's a raid. It's a raid. Did you just say you're not going to talk and you started immediately talking? You were right. Listen, I'm not going to talk during the cube solve because we want to get a record. Developers. Can we get a cube record? I don't know. On stream, the cube record, I think, is 35 seconds. Stupid. Nice. Okay. Groves is in a group of trees. Like what you see to your left eye is actually processed with the right side. Thanks for the shout out. Lovely, lovely. Good to have you. What's going on? Oh, that was not about your, not about your cube solve. Oh boy. Too much talk. Too much talk. Okay, we're gonna get this done here. Okay, I'm on here. I'm looking at the camera. I don't know what the cube is here. Look, I'm mixing it up. I'm staring at the camera. You can tell I don't know what the cube is solved at. I'm now gonna put my hand right here.